just making another video while I have this amazing transit happening where Mercury is going over my moon. What I mean is it's opposing my moon. It's going over the exact degree it happens to be doing that right at the stationary part. There's my kitty cat. See, that's the main reason why I wanted to make this video. To say hi to everybody and check out the shirt I'm wearing. I bothered to put on a shirt this time. So anyway, of course, always I want to be funny. Now, I'm trying to be funny while Saturn is approaching my ascendant, but guess what? It's kind of pulling back away from Aries, and it's going to do that for everybody, and it's going to go with Neptune back into Pisces, which is very weird. I talked about it before, but the main thing I wanted to talk about is how deeply I'm feeling the Mercury oppose my moon, and I'm grateful for it because I'm really chomping at the bit to do emotional healing or healing emotionally. The worry is that the people around me don't want to get involved with that kind of thing. It's like, and it's like, well, that's too bad because that's what we're trying to heal from, is having had so many misunderstandings or just a less than desirable interaction emotionally. But yeah, I don't want to talk about my personal life too much. Otherwise, I edit it out, and then the video sounds kind of strange. Have you been noticing it lately? Yeah, it kind of amounts to that, but the problem with people that don't communicate is that, well, they're living in darkness. You will be put in their darkness. It's dehumanizing. It's not right. I don't know. I come from the Libra generation, Pluto, Uranus, and they are communicative, right? Now, let alone if you have Sun in Libra or air planets, air people, air planets, air signs, they like to communicate. It's about communications for them. It starts with Gemini, who says, I am the mega communicator, and they have the details down. It depends on where the Mercury is. You have to, I mean, you can know a Gemini, but then a sun or a rising sign, but then you need to find out where their Mercury is and what they like to talk about and how it's functioning, right? Which will tell you what they are doing with communications. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only two things that you can possibly do with your vocal cords. The reason why you pass wind through your teeth and start to try to articulate something is because you've either hit the truth or you are trying to spread a non-truth. It's pretty much as simple as that. I mean, whether you know it like it or not, that's kind of like what's really going on. And, you know, because everybody can make mistakes, right? So it's like either or, yeah, you know. So just to get back to my favorite subject matter of that there's, because there's two types here, you see. And one of them might know how to communicate better than the other. It's probably an oil water mix and or like the difference between night and day. You know, it's like, no, well, that person actually makes sense, and then but that person doesn't make any good sense at all, especially if we have common sense to access, which is, have you made it to reality yet, folks? Huh? Outer space, the final frontier. Imagine that. It's going to be a big thing. Well, it is a big thing after well, during really times of which when you need grounding, let's say. But you'd be surprised. No, really, it's a madhouse out there, and 92% of people are struggling with that application. How are you? Uh, I'm going through something. I said this in the last couple videos. Hi, new subscribers. How are you doing? My goodness, I have some new people that are kind of basically spying on me, right? You know, it's kind of a trip. I better start doing something here on the video. I am, well, I'm a motivational speaker, if you want to know. I mean, we could go by my chart. I'm supposed to say something to you all, supposedly. It's part of the mission that I am on, that, well, I just, I share something communicatively, and it doesn't have to be through words or symbols. I do play music, and I was hoping to get to that. See, I'm experiencing sheer, raw, unadulterated distraction. There's an entity in my life, and I don't know if I'm going to post this, but if I did, hit like and subscribe, because I try not to talk about my personal life and what I'm going through with whomever. Could just be one single solitary person. I can tell you that right now. It's the truth. It's so strange. But see, that's really important. You know, it's okay to have just one single solitary person. A lot of times that's about it. But now, if that person doesn't at all give you the feeling that your purpose and what brings you joy, if they can't humor what brings you joy enough to where that they actually provide and enhance your vortex, where the things that you carry that bring you joy are there, like make it safe, or even go out and get the little fixture that's needed for the. See, if you don't have those kind of people in your life, why are they there again? You know, what's going on? I don't know. There's many scenarios that we can talk about people in our lives. You know, they're everywhere, right? And they're there for a profound reason, you know. But I'm talking about the ones that you start to, well, perhaps that you are going on a date with, or edited. Getting back to what the train, what I was talking about people having if you don't have the right kind, even if it's just one, especially if it's just that one. You don't take this part personally, because if they don't like to see anybody experiencing joy, if they have not a single fiber in their body that knows how to be happy for other people when they're happy, or to just smile at them, you know, just to smile at somebody and say hello. And it's a complete stranger, but just, you know, I notice a lot of that has gone on, and it's going on during the last 5 years. Some people are getting out of the box, right? Literally, they're stuck on the fucking computer here, probably for more than 5 years, right? And they get out, and they're just like, they're like valuing more. They're like, God, you know, I want to interact with people. And no doubt, think with me a bit here. Don't you think that Facebook and that whole exposing ourselves to how ridiculous it really is? Really, I mean, I'm here to tell you, I saw a problem with it immediately, like 2 weeks into it. I was like, no way. I mean, this is not healthy. You don't really have a real life like this. See, having said that, it's best to find out what the main use for it is, and it's pretty upfront, and exposing what it wants from your perception in such a way that if somebody was to alert you to it, like saying, no, this is a huge political arena where now, what if there were two types on this plane, babes, and maybe it had to do with your favorite subject matter in a roundabout way, narcissism. Let's not exclude sadomasochists, which is a step above. That's a narcissist who has graduated into a little bit more confidence, who says, wait a minute, I could torture these people for their own good, or kind of a thing, for their own good. What do you mean, Shauna? When is it ever necessary? Or when does it ever look like it that you can torture somebody for their own good? Well, to just get this across to people, there's a statistical study that psychologists have been doing for over 200 years. And if you look into it, their patients, 80% that are teachers that go in there, they go in there because they have a disturbing thought that comes over their head every day, just about, because they're dealing with little children, that they want to torture them. They want to torture them. And that's why they go, and it's like, check that box out. Okay, the psychologists do that for us. That's pretty much all they can do, is just look at algorithmic statistical studies that keep coming in, and believe it or not, 80% of the teachers go in on their own because they're like, oh my God, why am I thinking these wicked things? Well, it's like, have you ever considered that you're a full-blown narcissist? And you don't even know why you think you want to be a teacher, that you're not really teaching anything that you learned. You're fucking regurgitating something because, what did you take a lot of classes to become a teacher? Yeah, the question would be like, who has kids here? And the kids aren't going to say, schools do. No, women do. But we're going to talk about women now, that the subject matter of that, women are the educators here. They're the ones that are doing quality control. They're making sure there's a safety before to even have a child. I mean, that's something that even just apes are capable of doing. There's a really wonderful study about how to have a decent social society full of nonviolence, but actually full of, I was about to say love, but we're talking about apes now. I don't know if you know about the bonobo ape that is completely female ran. Very interesting to study their way of being, and I don't want to talk about it right now. I was here to talk about something. See, with Mercury and Leo opposing my moon, it's bound to be very entertaining. If it's right on my part of fortune, which does trine Neptune, and it trines my ascendant, I'm supposed to be entertaining with everything that I'm able to do. Uh, I could play music, but I thought I'd put a comedy act together with that. More like, I've had my heyday with it, and it's unfortunate. I'm looking over here because there's a cupboard over there full of like 40 tapes, metal tapes that I've made a bunch of music on, that I did not get laid down onto CD, and they've been there for like 12 years or more. And that's too bad. There's like 40 or 70 hours of listening, it seems like, to me, who does studio work and practices music and has played for other people. And anyway, I play everything. Why am I talking about this? Well, it's just, it's a combination of things, really. People that are artists and that play music. God, save us, please. The era that we're going through right now, it's astonishing how much that it's changed to who gives a shit? Who cares if it's a full phrase rhythmically? Do you notice the advertisements on YouTube, or maybe, of course, it's your commercials on TV, if you're still watching that, the jingles, well, I just wanted to in this 3-minute little section of the 45-minute video that I'm making here, I wanted to talk about those jingles anymore. It's not really an organized geometric piece of music. If you really tune in, why? Well, why would we want it to be? Really, it's just hard. It used to be like a 30-second commercial. Now it's like 8 seconds. That's the attention span of people, right? 15 seconds. And so, and it always comes with a separate jingle. And me as a musician, babe, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Just like listening to each little thing that comes on it's just from back to back. Every stinking advertisement has its own jingle, and there's so much, right? So anyway, I want to set that aside, and talk about. Remember how I used to talk about that dog that barks all the time? Well, it's still here. I'm here to announce to the people of Idlewild, if any of you guys are watching my stuff. I've been up here for 35 years, but I know of stories. My family, we've since the 1940s, and we live in tension here. This means that we have come up to the mountains to enjoy a certain ambiance, and the silence would be one of them. Now, if you have a barking dog, see what has always happened is that, first of all, no, you don't. People go and look and say, first of all, there would be a problem with a mountain lion could get a barking dog that's out all night. But see, the place is packed up with fencing and lighting and all this stuff, and so that possibility has gone away. So now my point is that we have, not in just 35 years, or say since the 1940s, because I know where I'm at and what was built here, say 100 years ago, which was nothing, pretty much nothing. They were doing logging here, and there was dirt roads. There was dirt roads until the 60s in my area here. So I'm here to tell you guys, really, this is coming from a reliable source of information. We have never had, not in a million years, a barking dog that echoes across the canyon from dusk to dawn. It's barking right now. See, I moved into this place because there's a certain amount of like noise and influx of fucking madness that I just moved closer to the creek. It's the farthest area on my property. I'm way in the corner of the room here that is like, oh, I would love to build a little bit more out and get it farther near the creek, because when that creek's running, it just drowns out everything. And see, it's an insulated room. Thanks for listening to this. And I can barely hear the dog, but no, that fucking dog, see, I personally, me, should have called animal control a long time ago. But see what happens, and thanks for listening to this, oh my God. What happened is I walked over there to when it was barking. It does spells of barking for like 2 hours straight, and then it'll stop for a half an hour. And it's like I really like, I try not to pay attention to any of it. I can't let it bug me. It's really, but really, it's fucking maddening. It is designed. Those people, whatever that is over there, they are paid to drive people like me crazy, specifically in a wilderness area that, I say wilderness area, it's going to stay a wilderness area no matter what the people hallucinating a life to be think. However many fences they build, the whole place can burn down, every single tree, and what's left is pure granite. Yeah, that's the wilderness area right there. That's what I love. I'm in Aries rising, and it's like, look, we are in a fucking electromagnetic mecca. And I hope that during that fire, all of the wind towers burnt down. My God. Can you people, I need to get the fuck out of here. There are other places just around the corner that I've heard that they didn't allow that stuff in. They don't allow bright lights in. I just talked to somebody the other day that I've known them for 25 years, but we kind of disconnected for like about 15, and here's why. Oh, that person is not awake, and I am. I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? I don't know. I just, I don't know. You know, I have my problems, and I am not perfect, and I have karma, and I'm trying to stay out of karma. So, but it's hard to deal with somebody who doesn't get it, right? When it's like, no, babe, we live up the I live up in the mountains because there's an ambiance that I enjoy. Oh God, I love it. I wouldn't be able to have stayed up here for 35 years if it wasn't for the rocks, the trees, the birds, and the bees, and the golden sunshine, and the fucking clean air, and the waterfalls, and the clean water, and the hiking, and just finding out really what do I need? What do I need really? See, you find that the children that were born up here, and there are kids that are born up here. I wouldn't suggest that. No, you should be born. See, when you're choosing to have kids, I understand that you want to be clean of the pollution, but the suggestion is this. No, you know, you send them to the most crowded schools. You live in the city, and you show them that there's a wilderness area, and maybe own some of the land up there and say, no, let's go and go over here. See, and let them choose. They're going to choose, most likely they're going to choose to go up into the rurals and live a life there for a while. That's what happened with me. Now, here's what happens with the kids that are born up here. And a lot of kids don't have to be born up here to experience this because a lot of them don't like it. They're wondering, what the fuck do you do up here? I want Jack in the Box, and I want a damn skating rink, and I want a Disneyland, and I want a movie, and I don't want it to be rustic, right? So, you know, the people that were born up here, they want to get the hell out, and they do. By the time they're 18, they're gone, man. They're living in LA. They're over there in San Francisco. They go to Denver. They, go to New York. They live right in the middle of the city. It's just that because they're trying to balance, they're finding a balance. They always wanted to know what's the world like. If they don't, here's the statistic, man. It's weird. Talk about the study. Are you still listening to this? 23 minutes. Well, you guys are bored. Hi, thank you for being here. Send a donation. I really need it. I'm being so fucking cool to the assholes around me that they have to have no fucking respect. Anyway, can't give me respect. So let me talk to you about the story I'm trying to tell you about these kids that end up going somewhere else, off the hill, away from the wilderness, right? The people that are born in the wilderness, they end up wanting to go to the city because they just want to know what it's all about. And same is true with the city people. Some of them, a lot of them, like if they're in the right mind, like me or anybody, I don't know. They love going up into the mountains, and some people are like, can you drop me off here? Like, they'll just get lost up here. Thank you, bye. I don't want to be in the city where it's mad and empathy is low, and you just have to deal with how fucking weird it is, man. I sound like this is because it's made it up here. And nobody knows the difference. Like how I was, sorry, I lost my train with that story, but how I was talking to this person, one of my friends that no, they are not enlightened, and it's just been so long that what do you mean, Shauna? How do you know? I don't know. I'm not a perfect person. Anyway, but the way that they were kind of snapping at me, I was like, the haters are coming out of the woodwork since the darn Mercury went backwards in Leo. Yeah, usually Leo's a very sunshiny person. They are boisterous. They don't need to show off because it's just bright anyway. They are a fire sign, and that's the way fire signs are. They shine brighter than most other spirits, all the zodiac. But it's not a competition, they are very mistaken to be just big egos, and it's like, no, we are confident. What are you gonna do? You're gonna start judging the eagle when it takes off in flight, or can you just enjoy that person is that way? a hothead, and they're bye. I hope your wings don't melt. Anyway, so God, what am I here to do? What am I here to say? I'm going through a hell of a lot with this Mercury opposing my moon. It seems to be just tailored up just for me. Now, this is what I should be doing. And if you really knew who I was, and I think in the beginning of this video I was talking about people in your life that bring out the joy, your joy, which makes you feel good, because they like that. They like to see you feeling good. See, there's a quotient or faction of people, narcissists, sadomasochists, psychos, and the whatever toxic people in between. They don't like to see you happy and lighthearted and fluffy, and for an accomplishment that you did in and of yourself that made you confident. Fuck no. No, they don't know how to meet you. They don't know how to meet anything really, but they won't. They want to. It's weird. It's like they do envy it and they want it for them, but at the same time, it makes them insecure. They feel like they're just not good enough, right? It puts them, I guess, deeper into their southern atmosphere, right? That's the problem with them, is that they are southerly people. Everybody has a mind. Everybody has narcissism. The difference between one that's malignant and one that's not, or one, so-called healthy and one that's not healthy, but there's no such thing as that. It's more like, well, yeah, I guess you could say healthy, but yeah, it's better than saying positive and negative, or even northerly or southerly. But no, it's a good analogy, because they don't get up above the level of sadness and grief. It scares them or something, their shift is to go down into more depression and sadness and paranoia and fear. So at some point in their life, somebody took away their joy and happiness, the ability to just choose happiness, right? That's what I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so Shauna, when are you going to get out of this? Like, when are you going to remember who you are? When are you going to remember that? No, it's always been, Shauna, you're an 11, and don't you remember? People are always picking on you. They're always looking at you going, why are you so happy? I mean, like, why are you able to do that? You know, what, why, why don't I have what you have? Why don't you be my friend? Why don't you give me attention? See, I've gotten into big trouble. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at it. It's like, and somebody else came here yesterday and scolded me. And I'm thinking, like, why did it feel like that? I'm like perfectly fine. I'm looking at it like, you know what? I'm doing pretty fucking good. But these haters are coming out of the woodwork. They're probably happening for you. Comment section down below. How tough is it? I don't want to even know. Fuck these fucking people. Where are my people? Can you still see my cat? I'm trying to erase some things here. Pardon me while I erase this so that I can have more. Um, more. See, I was talking to you about that dog that it has never. We've never had a barking dog. It's a very loud barking dog. Not in a million years. No, it just happened 3 years now. This is the first 3 years in all of 35 years I've ever been up here, and 100 years that my family has almost been up here if they were still alive. It's just not far from being 100 years. And I dare say a million years, because there wasn't anybody up here. There isn't any sign that there were roads. I mean, we don't really know, you and I, and don't know what was around and really what has really happened, not really even 150 years ago. More and more you can see how they start to, it's happening more that they're closing down generations with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And so there isn't a very good memory. See, the real way that we used to teach each other is we looked each other in the eyes and we were like, fuck, do you remember though? Do you remember what's going on here? And that's why that the story of Christ Jesus or any horrible traumatic event that says, no, this really affects us. It's trauma. We're doing trauma bond right there, and that's why it stays around. Otherwise, something uh, that has killed that person wants you to shut the fuck up and forget about it. But here's the thing that this ignorant fucking entity doesn't know. It's there fresh as a daisy, by the way. Your narcissist or whatever is possessing these fucking people to operate so non-self-reflectingly and stupid, right? They don't cover their tracks very well. They get caught. Um, sorry, I lost my train. Fuck, I've been doing that lately. It's horrible. Thank God for editing too. I could see talking about that dog. Yeah, no, I would love to. See, I'm being distracted heavily by a very weird association. It is so bizarre to me. It's bizarre because, okay, so some people now, is it between men and women, they don't really get along. They don't know what it is to get along. There's some kind of fucking thing going on that I have. If I remember who I am and remember how it was for me when I was very young. I'm talking about before I can even walk. I remember thinking, so here I am again, and I'm thinking, I know that there's men and women here. I would love to fucking tell you my autobiography. I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna try and go general. There's programming going on where, okay, have you heard of misogyny? See, I know of this vibration, and you just steer clear of it. The way I've done it was just you just mind your own business. You don't align with it. I mean, you don't entangle with it. It's not interesting because it's a lower vibrational frequency of just fucking stupid idiots. Very, very insecure people end up being misogynists. Now, that word, I think, like narcissism, is um, isolated to a lot of times it's only men that get that jacket, right? But no, I'm pretty sure now I was gonna see because I don't want to sound like I'm biased and that I have a problem with men because no, no, I do. But are they men and are they women? See, I have a problem with women too, though. That I cannot relate with women who step right into the role that the misogynist wants them to be. This is something that's like, fuck this fucking conversation. I would much rather somebody pay me $100 right now for me to play the guitar and say, Shauna, would you please isolate yourself away from whatever it is that distracts you and makes you talk about them, which is just a vibrational frequency. I would love to communicate some things. See, but the more that you're being beat up, literally, by these entities that they're masking their presence in your life. If you have confidence, if you are somebody who's well on your way, man, it's so fucking weird. You have these entities that will show up and say, "Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? Huh?" Fucking bullies. And in one of my other videos, I don't want to insult people in my life who are in their 60s or from the 60s. But no, this is what we're looking at. It might be one of the things that I would observe in my life, as well as all kinds of different things. From day one, I tried to tell you that I was very aware, and remember I couldn't walk when I was thinking a lot about a lot of things. I was like, so here I am again. I don't want to tell you about, I would love to tell you my autobiography. I'd love to take it from ground zero and say, no, this is what was going on with me when I was a child. And there was evidence all around me that this is the truth. Shauna is expressing what kind of so-called difficulty she went through being just who she was. For instance, I didn't grow hair until I was around about 3.5 or 4 years old. As a little girl, I just didn't. So I just want to let you know that, okay, up until then, I looked like a boy. I mean, up until I finally was able to grow hair and it grew long, I looked like a boy. Now, I was a tomboy when I grew up. But I want to just nip this in the bud and say, if I ever make an autobiography that talks about different intricate parts of my life, and I was just going into the gender thing, um, I would stash it away and say, no, you can't get into that unless you pay the monthly fee of $20, and I'll keep it open, and I'll make these beautiful audio audio books about a lot of things. That's in the future when I am more and more less and less distracted by my one and only fucking distraction that just does not fucking give a shit about anything that brings me joy. And I say anything that brings me joy, it's not always like that. No, I mean we share some things, but it's like, no, it's important that your baby, like the baby that you are working on, what I mean is your pride and joy, um, whatever piece of work that you're doing, that you think that will be something that will just open up into a TED Talk or something that would bring you like $7,500 per head, people filing in wanting to hear what you have to say. Even if it is just pure comedy and you're on your fucking guitar. That's where we're heading, and that's what can happen for us, ladies and gentlemen. And I need that. I'm backed into a corner here that says, boy, I'm really looking at like a very, very little amount of money that I'm sloshing back and forth about. I need to pay this fucking. My electric bill got up to. It's still fucked up right now. It's about 400 and some odd dollars. Tell all the enemy that, but see, the people on my side are here too, and it's like, drown them out. If I had 400 people that were on my side, they would say, "Are you kidding, Shauna? Here, I just sent you $2, and I hope that everybody else does the right thing." It's nothing. And so, come on, do the math. 400 people sending me $2? That's $800. I live on very little. And this is what these people around me, that they can't find respect for that, and they don't know the kind of discipline that it takes to do that. They don't like that I can just be happy with just, I don't care. I don't need to go. I mean, I do think about it. No, really, honestly, I want to get out of a certain stuckness that I am experiencing. I would love to be taken clear away, but I have to do it all myself. I have to do it for me because, well, I'm 50, and you don't really expect to, I don't know, you just don't expect to find people that you can trust with your money and your, well, see, now I have an issue with my love life. It's just fucking harnessed up and being gnawed on by an entity that, fuck, I keep trying to do all this work with them and for them, Like what I would do is see, God, this video right now. Did I edit a lot? Did I tell you anything there? Not really. See, what I really wanted to tell you about me in this video, God, it's coming up more and more that it's going to be happening, that I'm going to keep. It's not explaining myself. It's just saying, babe, this is who I am. I'm catching a lot of flack from people that are realizing it's like, dang. So, what kind of a coach are you, Shauna? Coach? I bet you anything, if we look that word up, it means a kind of cart or carriage that horses tug. Like, say, when does the coach get here tonight, darling? Say 800 years ago or however many. I doubt that they were concerned really too much with coaches in another form. I don't know, babes. Why is that fucking word around here? And who cares about those kinds of people? Right? I'm not asking for your money because I've coached you into some train of thought or something. No, I don't want to be somebody who asks people for money here. Not for nothing, that's for sure. And remarkably, some people appreciate me enough, entertainment, whatever it is that you think I'm doing, and that you have sent me money. It's a fucking remarkable. I just think it's like, fuck yeah. Oh man, if you knew where I am and how difficult it is for me, because I'm talking about a life that needs to fold over and flip over and be better, but I can't do it at the drop of a hat or a snap of a finger, and certainly I can't do it with fucking people that are like, where are you going, huh? No, I'm here, and I'm entitled, and I'm gonna, let me help you. Friend. Should I end it here? I should. Ideally, I should. The main thing I wanted to talk about is who I really am. That, like, you know what? People are just not going to fucking admit it. You see, I'm somebody who births and deaths. I'm a kind of midwife. And if you find that I'm in your life, you must be going or are going to be. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but no, I don't really hang out much. See, but when I do, most likely you're going through an intense transformation, or else just my presence. If you focus any of your attention on me and I get into you and we actually connect, your life is about to change forever. You're going through a drastic rebirth, death. It's transformation time for you. And I happen to be there. See, I told you I'm a midwife of sorts, and I have actually midwifed. Oh, tons of goats. I lived on a ranch and literally birthing goats, but no, I was privileged enough to be in the presence of a woman who was having a child, and it was remarkable because I was the one, more so than the midwife that she paid to sit there and sit there and look like it's um, an empire waiting for a pitch to come in or something. She said that all she can hear is my voice, and I was so privileged. I felt so privileged to have gone through that with, but I'm like that with the goats too. I just think it's a miracle, and I can tell you stories. See, but now it's not talking about real births like that. I'm a midwife of death and birth, the same time thing that can happen. See, some people can come across just the right person during their transformation period, right? That really does speak to the transformational period later on. And then that person can thank you later on too. To say, God, you were there. But see, there's people that will take advantage of other people's time of transformation. You know, they're vulnerable. They're trying to listen to advice, and they're taken advantage of. Um, Many different ways they could be stolen from, sat upon, their energy hijacked, completely misled, and uh, you know, that person that is on the verge of transformation, who's living their life but experiences that, it's like, well, it's up to them to make the major decisions that involve their transformation. I would say, as a guru, 50 years old now, very rarely does it mean that you are completely alone in it. No, people will be there that has to do with your transformation. Um, now, the subject matter of talking about, uh, your narcissist and the toxic people that seem to hold us back and prevent us from being all we can be, they are sending you into another paradigm. And, you are really fucked if you don't know that that was meant to be. Yeah, see, you can comfort these fucking people that get into some entanglement with you or whatever. When you get entangled, they don't have very good conversation. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in such the quagmire with problems amongst each other. Why don't they just fucking talk to each other? I remember in this video here, did I get anywhere with it? 47 minutes. How much have I deleted? And please pay me for this work that I'm doing. Well, did I talk about the misogynists? And it's right up this alley of the the thing that I have observed, babes. I'm just an observer. I see it like the plague. I've seen whole families rise and fall because here I am. I mean, I'm 50, and it could happen over a span of 25 years. That really it happens where no, it's sad to see it, where people are having children when they haven't really found love themselves. They're very, very acting entitled. They're narcissists, and then there's the kid there, and that kid ends up being, oh my God, there's suicidal, self-harming kind of people that are acting out in ways because nobody fucking talks right, and it's like, fuck, I don't like this subject matter. Why am I talking about this? I can blame it on Chiron, it's building up to a square to the sun. And Chiron's in Aries, and Aries is the baby of the zodiac. And I heard this thing quote the other day is like, you can't set the baby in a corner. You cannot set the baby in the corner. That's the first one up right there. You have an Aries for a friend. If you really do get on their good side, you have a good friend forever. They are so lighthearted and generous, and they are there because they're sticking up for you. You don't even know it. That they're actually having, fuck, people think that we have no patience at all. If we've lost our patience, it's because we've had so much patience. We've given you time and time to just please pick up and just fucking practice awareness. And when we finally fucking just snap, there's our reactive abuse from these fucking immature people, right? And see, we get called narcissists when it's actually confidence. And can you get a set of kahunas on you and some spontaneity going there? It's not narcissism to have an ego. No, here's a fact. Narcissists are a problem because there isn't a core fucking person in there to locate at all. They have no ego. They have a false self there. That now, if that gets an ego, a lot of people don't know that. No, it's not. It's a false sense of self that they have. Otherwise, the self that's there is an ego that knows who it is. And that's what I was kind of throughout this video, 51 minutes. Wow, how did it turn out? Man, I would love to let you know that, man, it's boiling up. It's just, I'm entangled with this shit that's like, okay, so I have to make money, right? What I'm doing is not satisfactory because it's like, oh God, this is weird. And why doesn't this person even think that this is weird? I think it's because this is the way they live. Now, I'm going to close this up. It's like, did you notice the society of enslavers who really, it's now, women can very well do this to men also. It happened to my dad. But he turned around, he pushed, this is the game, babes, where it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. See, you're going to use your intelligence. You're going to say, fuck, there's a system out there that requires us to make money. We have to pay the bills and who's going to pay for the kids? And you, me, hunting. And some men take that on really easily, right? Because who knows why? You see, who knows why women have children? Sorry, it's a power trip. It could be narcissists right there. That they don't really think of in long term or anything, or the consequences of anything, or is that's a whole other fucking human being? That's not a baby. That's a human being. A lot of narcissists are known to bond with their children up until around about 5 or 6. They'll say, God, it was so fun, but then damn, what happened? Well, the child starts getting a mind of their own, and the child will say no to them. And now you're going to see some adults arguing with the fucking toddler. They don't know how to get through that time very smoothly. In fact, there's where the abuse happens right there. They will stunt that child's growth in no time flat. Yeah, big difference. And so anyway, why did I talk about any of this? I have a feeling that the Mercury in Leo going backwards for everybody, not just me, is bringing up these issues about, it doesn't necessarily have to be narcissism, but it's like, what's taking center stage? What fucking sucks the air out of the room? And then what kills our joy? What isn't happy? See, going backwards with Leo, that's what we see. We see the crying baby, the one that didn't get enough attention. Somebody took the toy out of their hand and said, no, and you go sit over there, and now it's you're going to get grounded, and all this punishment that is like, did you know that that's abuse? It is. Just let the kid fucking fall asleep when it will. Let it eat when it fucking gets hungry. Let it have what it wants. Find out what it wants. Go get it immediately. People think they know better by depriving them from experiences and things, and it's like, you know what? After a while, it's like, no, not really. You want a creative individual there that knows that they have access to the universe, and if you have somebody there, most likely they're old-fashioned. You want to break that mold and say, no, I don't want your limitation and your version because yeah, it's just a hand-me-down. Anyway, that fucking dog, here it is. Well, it's going on 10 and it doesn't matter. It'll be barking like this 2 in the morning. See, the thing that trips me out is like, why doesn't anybody else hear it? And I went over there and I noticed that it's like impossible to find out the house and go up to the door and look at the address because it's a gated place. It's gated. It's fenced all around. It's like, well, if I went up this one driveway to the other fence, it would have to go across what it looks like private property, and it doesn't matter to me. It's like, no, the airwaves are being polluted by this fucking sound. And I just haven't called the police yet. You have to call the police so that they can come. I don't think the animal control will work. So you have to just get them to look at it. Say, look, this thing is barking like this, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 10 at night. It seems to stop in the daytime. I could swear, if see, do we really have a society up here right now who they're like, Shauna, you shouldn't have fucking give us back your sound canceling goggles. And it's like, you know what? I don't want to live I want a sanctuary where people don't need those goggles to go to sleep with and be tranquil with, that they've kept the airwaves and the environment in its natural state, which, okay, so I mean, how long do dogs live? 15 years? Okay, 15 years that'll be gone? But this is the thing. And I knew this, I saw this coming. It's so weird. It's like, I bet you anything, because the fucking trend for narcissists to do is to have a dog. I'm not bagging on people that love their animals and have dogs. No, we noticed an escalation over the past 5 years, 3 years in particular. It's just been boom. For whatever reason, it's a status thing. It was pushed. There's a psyops happening. They are doing so much that, no, that's one of the main ones. It's to, first of all, it's a big fucking distraction. An absolute insult to the people that knows that there's an ever-increasing, dire, inhospitable condition, human condition of disease and how the food is not nourishing and fucking inflation and all this shit. And what are these people going to do? Did you see the fucking dog food commercials lately? Well, we all know that you can't feed them the dog food that has made them all sick. That's the business out there. Your vet knows how to cure all of these fucking sicknesses, because it's the same with the human beings. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administrators, are going to work on the populace now, and they've converted that innocent job that you thought that veterinaries, they get paid a lot, and it's like, man, they get paid the same as doctors, but they are the most innocent. You can just tell that they don't have a secret agenda. Bullshit. Nope, they're sucked into it now. Oh, you buy this certain food, and that certain food gives them diabetes. Fucking A, man. Animals have never had this fucking problem. Decaying teeth, diabetes, overweight. Well, it's because the food and fucking vaccines you're giving them. It is. I feel like I'm one of the last of the Mohicans who had a dog that lived to be 22 years old. It could have lived till it was 26 or 27, but we were struggling with food. I did my best. It was like 6 years before she died. I was feeding her chickens and stuff, and it was hard because I started starving too, and I was making sure, and she was declining because she was just going through an end of life process, getting skinnier and skinnier, and that was a nightmare when that kind of culminated like that. I went through a complete change. Talk about this transformation time, minute 59. It'll happen, like you'll change out your animals, and it just happens, and it all just changes like that. It's like George Carlin says, life is a series of dogs, or it's a series of dental visits. But anyway, um, yeah, no, this dog that can't be located in this fenced off area, that it's like it's questionable whether or not I'll be able to time it if I was calling the animal control and just say, no, this needs to be stopped. See, what I realized, what I know that is, I was ready for it because my psyche told me, it's like, no, watch this, Shauna. Not just that dog, but you'll hear some other dogs barking throughout the night that nobody knows that this was never here. Not in 35 years, not in the last 5 years. No, it just piped up the last 3 years. Babes, not in a million years have we had things going on in this mountain range, because there weren't any roads. The first roads that come up on my area here were, when we were bringing building material in, was a dirt road. And there were people agreeing about where they were, and they acted in such a way that preserved it as sanctuary, where we keep the lights out. We love how it was pitch black and you could see the stars and you can't see it anymore. That's what I was doing. Where I don't even want to talk about my court cases. I still have one coming up in August. Is they're punishing me for having done quality control, but I had it all on transcript. The reason why I'm being heard there and dragged around and punished. Fuck. And it's like, no, that's very real. And I would love to make it to where if I did sell this place, I'd just take them all to court. Say, no, I want to talk to the code inspector. Just bring it all up. I have time and money. Giddy up, cowboy! Giddy up!